Yeah, so today we convene here, young people in agriculture and environmental sciences convene here for a workshop on agroecology and circular economy. Because of the nature of this ecological transition, in fact, our food system have been largely problematic when it comes to environmental degradation. The way we have produced agriculture in the past have not been too healthy for the environment and for human consumption. And so we are trying to, in this workshop, to get young people who want to go into agriculture and into environmental protection, all to convene here so that we can let them understand the importance of transitioning from the conventional agriculture to agroecology. Why are we transitioning? The essence is that the data we have shows that about 60% of Africa's land resources are degraded, and our pollinators are gradually, in fact, those places they use inorganic and high loaded pesticide, like the pesticide containing there are certain pesticides that can kill or make the bees and then the pollinator population extinct. One of them contain one of the key ingredients of some of these pesticides is neonicotinoids. So with the high load of neonicotinoids in the pesticides that farmers use, our pollinators are gradually declining and getting extinct. It will get to a point where, if we are not careful, we will plant the food, we will plant the crop, and then there will be no pollinators to transfer the pollen grains, and therefore we will not have the fruits we need. We are all aware of the hand pollination exercise even being embarked on by Cocoa Board. And all these are evidence to the need for us to protect our pollinators. And so we have convened the young people in agriculture and environmental sciences across different communities in Ghana to really come to terms with the understanding of the need for us to protect the ecosystem, protect the biodiversity, the organic, protect the plants that the pollinators that would have normally been killed by these pesticides. And so here we are also introducing them to how to prepare organic pesticide, organic fertilizers, liquid fertilizers, compost, all in with the aim of reducing agriculture-associated emission from black carbon through burning, agriculture burning, and then from methane through rice production. And then as we drive this change towards emission reduction, we also promote agriculture productivity, promote improved health, and then also support our ecosystem services. Talking about regulatory provisioning, cultural and support ecosystem services, which are very vital for our food systems. So that's why we convened this gathering here.
I hope that today's activity or deliberations will be very fruitful and we will all have something good to take home. In relation of that, I know we all have quite a number of expectations for today's program, but I am not. So, so for Asante, to come out and give us an overview. I don't think we have any special protocol today, so if there is, then we will observe the protocol. Thank you so much in the first place for making time of this, festive moments to participate in this event. I didn't quite expect that we were doubtful about the participation because it's a Christmas period. Everybody is like, Christmas. And so I'm so glad that you have made it. Clap for yourselves. It shows the commitment we have to make a difference. It shows the interest we have and the passion that in spite of these festive moments when everybody is thinking and hoping to spend some joyous moments with friends and families, we can quit all that to be here. Clap for yourself once again. Yeah. So, on that note, on behalf of the management of the CSIR Crop Research Institute and the Agroecology Circular Economy for Ecosystem Services project called the ACE4ES project, and the project team, I say welcome to this morning's, today's workshop on agroecology and circular economy. Yeah, so I'll just speak to about 2-3 slides, and then we can make progress. Yeah. How many of you have heard of the word agroecology? Let us by hands. Any hands? Agroecology. Okay. But when we talk about culture, everybody's in the know. Nobody can say that they have heard of the word agriculture, isn't it? Is anybody like that? Let me see my hand. Who hasn't heard the word agriculture? Good. But agroecology is new, isn't it? Of course, agroecology has been misinterpreted in several domains. Sometimes people use it in place of a climatic zone, ecological zones, and all that. But the concept of agroecology is one that brings a number of principles and elements together. So when we say agroecology, why are we not talking about agriculture but agroecology? What is the difference? What is new in the word agroecology? The newness is from the fact that the way we practice agriculture has been environmentally degradative. Why? Number one, the chemicals that we often use by farmers, either they overuse them. Let's use the pesticide. The problem with pesticide is that farmers can apply the pesticide when it's not time for harvesting. Usually the pesticide has a number of days you should leave the plant. But because of a target market somewhere, the pesticide might not have reached its time for leaving, its residual time, and therefore it will have been harvested where the chemicals are still in the crop. And so people consume and they get poisoned. So we have problem with chemical overuse and misapplication. When it comes to fertilizers, you remember in during the COVID, we said there was no food because Ukraine and Russia have blocked their borders to fertilizers, and therefore there was no food. We are in Ghana. Why should we be bothered with Russia not bringing fertilizer to Ghana? So it shows the dependency of our agriculture system to external inputs, so that if the external inputs are not coming, it means that we have no food. So several experts across the globe saw that the way our food systems are going, if we don't check them, if we don't check that graph, that trajectory of being too dependent on external inputs in our culture and becoming more self-reliant, it is going to affect our environment, our health, and our food security severely. So that panel called a high-level political forum, high-level panel of experts on agroecology met and agreed that indeed there is a need to introduce the concept of agroecology, where the agriculture that we practice is dependent on our own production system, our own resources, and not too dependent on external resources. So we have principles like biodiversity, which is key to agroecology. The conventional agriculture, they do slash and burn. So in slash and burn systems, what happens is that the soil biodiversity, the organisms in the soil are killed. The organic matter, the carbon becomes eroded. They all get oxidized, they all get bent, carbonized, and then they go into the atmosphere as gases. So, in the end, when initially they think they are getting the yield, after 5 years, the land is no more productive. So the concept of protecting or having improved biodiversity, soil biodiversity, is key. It's a key principle in agriculture. Apart from that, we can also think about recycling of inputs. Instead of burning, we could use the organic materials for something else. And that's where circular economy comes in. We could use them for compost, we could use them for liquid fertilizers, and so on. So I will be visiting the technology park, where we'll see a few things. These days, people are making briquettes from weeds, from different organic biomasses. And so the need for us to recycle is important in agriculture. Yeah, so you can read more about it. So in agroecology, we are looking at encouraging the adoption of sustainable agricultural practices that improve biodiversity, soil health, crop productivity, while reducing reliance on chemical inputs. It emphasizes the importance of farmer engagement and participation with focus on gender and youth inclusion in agroecological transition. So we are moving the agricultural system from that input dependency to transition it to agroecology, where every ecological area, every zone, every district, every community, knowing the resources you have, you can produce something that will benefit your food need, any external input from somewhere before you can produce. Because come to think of it, even if you are applying fertilizers, over time, it's been shown that fertilizer over application has led a lot of soil to high acidity. And so the soil becomes acidic. When we plant anything there, it doesn't yield any fruit. So how do we continue in such a production system when there are alternatives? Agroecology is shifting us to that alternative where we can produce sustainably by relying on our own creative inputs. We are also looking at our ability to convert, reuse, repurpose any waste that we make. In fact, there should be no waste in our dictionary. Whatever we call waste should not be called waste. We should find use for them. I believe you are aware that plastics are recyclable, isn't it? In the same way plastics are recyclable. Organic waste, the weeds, the biomass we generate, instead of burning them, we can convert them to some useful products. And that practice is what we call circular economy, operating circularly. You use, reuse, and then you come back. Repurpose, reuse, use, recycle, and all the so that makes it a circular loop. Instead of going use, dispose. Instead of going use, dispose, that's a linear path. So instead of use, dispose, you go use, reuse, repurpose, and then you recycle. So we are going circular economy. We are combining that with agroecology. Once we do these two, it means that we can promise ourselves ecosystem services. How many of us understand ecosystem services? By hand. Oh, no, you guys here. Ecosystem services. Right. So we are looking at combined agroecology and circular economy to arrive at ecosystem services. What are these services? We have the provision ecosystem services. We should be sure that the soil, the water bodies, even the air can guarantee the provision. What we need to be provided with. The provision, we should get our food, fuel, raw materials, all from the production, the resources that God in this whole wisdom has granted us. So we should get our food, fuel, raw materials from the resources. If you are not getting them, if you go to water body and you cannot find clean fish in the water, it means that the aquatic ecosystem is not serving its ecosystem purposes. It's not serving its provision ecosystem services. It should be able to, the water body should be able to provide you clean water for aquatic organisms to live cleanly and healthily in that ecosystem. The land that we have should be able to produce healthy crops. We did an assessment in some Galamsey sites, and what we found was that the crops that were on the land had serious amounts of heavy metals, far beyond the permissible limits that WHO has set for us to consume in food. Cadmium, mercury, arsenic, lead were so high in these foods. Cassava, plantain, cocoyam, we assess all that. So can we really be proud of the services we are getting from the resources we have? No. Until we pursue a certain agenda which will guarantee the safety of the resources that we have. So we need to drive these two concepts, agroecology, circular economy, and that will help us to achieve provisioning ecosystem services, food, fuel, raw materials. Apart from that, the ecosystem services like regulatory ecosystem services is important while we promote these two concepts, agroecology, circular economy. Why? Because by the practice of integrating these two, you are able to sequester. When I say sequester, it means that you are converting carbon dioxide into something solid, like having a tree absorbing carbon dioxide and enlarging in size. That's what we call carbon sequestration. So in that process, you can accumulate a lot of carbon in plants, you can accumulate a lot of carbon in soil, you can accumulate a lot of carbon in water bodies. The only way we can drive this is to promote agroecology and circular economy principles. Apart from this, we could also talk about cultural and support ecosystem services. Let's look at the last ecosystem services and then end, and the other speaker can come to wrap up. So, apart from all these services we are talking about, we have support ecosystem services and then cultural ecosystem services. So we are saying that the land is to provide a supportive environment for plant growth. Soil health is key. If we can guarantee productivity of the land, it means that the soil, once you pick any volume of soil, you should be able to see good amount of macro and micro organisms in there. We should be able to see the organics in there. We should be able to see roots in there. And once the soil can guarantee these qualities, it means that we say that the soil is healthy and therefore can support the life systems that grow on them. And finally, the culture, everybody has. We have different cultures. Our production system should be respectful of cultures. We shouldn't over-rely on external cultures in our production. We should, if you are in Ashanti or if you are in Ghana, you know the indigenous crops, indigenous food. We should not be too quick to accept foreign tastes. For some groups, the quantity of foreign food, the percentage of foreign food in their diet is like about 90 to 98%. That is bad. It means that you are creating demand, high demand, for something that is not yours. In the end, all the farmers who are producing what is supposed to give you the health and nutrition, nourishment you need will stop because you are not getting your food from them. And therefore, it is going to lead to that dependency syndrome where we have so much reliance on external inputs. The foreigners will continue to have power over us. Now there's a lot of politics on food because people's taste and preferences are shifting to the foreign. We need to love our own indigenous food. We need to have interests in our own homegrown food so that our farmers who are producing can get the value for the energy that they put into the production. We should have markets that can guarantee that our farmers who are producing, right now, as we are all venturing, we are all here because we want to venture into sustainable agriculture. If you are producing
sustainably, organically, and people are not patronizing, what will happen? You'll be discouraged. You'll be discouraged. And then
You may want to switch to a different
activity or profession.
which shouldn't be. So
Cultural ecosystem services must be guaranteed in agroecology. So agroecology gives preference to local markets, to local food, indigenous food systems that will support our health, because our is dependent on the food we consume. And where we grow up has a relationship with the food we have consumed to that point. So if you imbibe a lot of foreign taste, you are not too sure what genes you are changing in your system. So culture, ecosystem is key. So these are the principles we are promoting in ACE4ES. Now, someone was talking about her expectation that from here they want to see the job prospects that they can take on sustainable agriculture, isn't it? Yeah. So let me find out. How many of us are on professional networks like LinkedIn? LinkedIn. How many of us are LinkedIn professional? Your profile can be found on LinkedIn. Okay, just a section. Means that the rest of us who are young people cannot be found if we are looking for professionals in a particular area. Is that true? These days, people scouts. The best place to look for professionals is LinkedIn, because there you can look at the profile, the educational background of the person. At least you can have a summary of the person's CV. So if you are a young person and you are not on LinkedIn, it means that you are not ready for the job market. Because when people are searching for people who are ready, you will not be found. You understand? I know Facebook. How many of us don't have Facebook accounts? You don't have Facebook accounts. Everybody has a Facebook account. Okay, you don't have. All right. That's a minority. Okay. So you see, the social media is a place for both entertainment, job creation, job prospecting, networking, and so many other things. But what we find is that if you do the assessment of what young people go in on social media for, none of them, most of them, in fact, when you do the assessment, you see that about 90% development related, issues or contents are not given preference at all. You just swipe, eh? Just moving. Skip. But for the guys, see some lady with a shape. Nice. Like. You see? And for the ladies, what do you like on social media? New fashion, new hairstyle, new dressing code, new perfume, something. Isn't it? These are what interests us. So, when we put up the development content there, and we are assessing, one of the things we assess is who are those who are passionate about making progress, making a difference in this generation. It's our passion. So you see people who, instead of liking those entertainment stuff, they actually take interest in reading the text, sharing to create awareness for people to have different lifestyles. If I'm talking about ecosystem services, I'm talking about guarantee. The need for people to stop and then take action and reverse to protect the ecosystem. And young people, instead of buying into these concepts, you just throw them away and then you're on different angles. It means that the change you want to bring will not happen. And when the water becomes polluted and heavily infested with the heavy metals, you and I will drink it that. You understand? So it's high time young people, as we are, we take interest in development, we have passion in development works, in development contents, promote them actively so that the difference we want to make will happen. At least somebody, by seeing the animation, the video, the reading about the need for change, may want to change something. So I'll pause here. So we should be conscious. Of course, entertainment is good, but let's also take active parts in promoting content that are positive, that can drive change, because we are all advocates. We need to all be advocates of the change we want in Ghana and in Africa. The African Union has set Agenda 2063 that by 2063, our land and water resources should all be good and clean. Our food, the way we produce food should be sustainable and climate resilient, and so on and so forth. How many of us are interested in contributing to these global and regional goals? And we see the activities that young people engage in, and we see whether they are interested or not. So, for some people, they just check your social media profile. Most employment agencies these days, after submitting your CV, they don't just stop. They Google you out and see what you are doing on social media, what you are passionate about and all that. And so if it is something that you are passionate about, it will be seen. So you assess yourself critically and see whether indeed you want to be part of the movement for change towards cleaner environment, safer environment, and healthier life. That is what we pray that we all become. Are we together? Are we together? Good. So, yeah. So, before we leave, we want to know if you're all online, you have your phones, smartphones here, and can access the social media platforms. While they are trying to set it up from here. So that's the website, that's the LinkedIn, the X handle, the YouTube, and then the Facebook account. You can know these ones, and then the only way you can interact with us is to follow these, and then we see your passion in the promotional works. As you get involved, we will be profiling all those who are taking interest. After a while, we will hold a separate meeting. Then the opportunities that are available, we inform them. And then gradually, we will be making progress towards
bringing the change we want. In fact, there are several job opportunities, but I won't talk too much because we appear the weather is not too conducive, and then we're also behind time. So I'll leave the mic for Dr. Clements to continue so that we do the rest at the technology part. Thank you.
Okay, please let's do it better for him. Thank you so much, for this insightful overview presentation. So yes, the handles are there as you can see on the screen. Kindly log into your social networks and follow us, subscribe, and share the link. Also to pre-groups, and what is going to happen on the field is that we are going to see a number of demonstrations. So the groups are going to move in rotations. Okay. So what I want you to do is, from my left,
Yeah, so today we convene here, young people in agriculture and environmental sciences convene here for a workshop on agroecology and circular economy. Because of the nature of this ecological transition, in fact, our food system have been largely problematic when it comes to environmental degradation. The way we have produced agriculture in the past have not been too healthy for the environment and for human consumption. And so we are trying to, in this workshop, to get young people who want to go into agriculture and into environmental protection, all to convene here so that we can let them understand the importance of transitioning from the conventional agriculture to agroecology. Why are we transitioning? The essence is that the data we have shows that about 60% of Africa's land resources are degraded, and our pollinators are gradually, in fact, those places they use inorganic and high loaded pesticide, like the pesticide containing there are certain pesticides that can kill or make the bees and then the pollinator population extinct. One of them contain one of the key ingredients of some of these pesticides is neonicotinoids. So with the high load of neonicotinoids in the pesticides that farmers use, our pollinators are gradually declining and getting extinct. It will get to a point where, if we are not careful, we will plant the food, we will plant the crop, and then there will be no pollinators to transfer the pollen grains, and therefore we will not have the fruits we need. We are all aware of the hand pollination exercise even being embarked on by Cocoa Board. And all these are evidence to the need for us to protect our pollinators. And so we have convened the young people in agriculture and environmental sciences across different communities in Ghana to really come to terms with the understanding of the need for us to protect the ecosystem, protect the biodiversity, the organic, protect the plants that the pollinators that would have normally been killed by these pesticides. And so here we are also introducing them to how to prepare organic pesticide, organic fertilizers, liquid fertilizers, compost, all in the with the aim of reducing agriculture-associated emission from black carbon through burning, agriculture burning, and then from methane through rice production. And then as we drive this change towards emission reduction, we also promote agricultural productivity, promote improved health, and then also support our ecosystem services. Talking about regulatory provisioning, cultural and support ecosystem services, which are very vital for our food systems. Yeah, so that's why we convened this gathering here.
When it comes to input. So with this, you can still put this one on your soil where your plant is, the roots, and to protect your roots from nematodes. Again, this one, because it lives in its own tea, it can also decompose in the soil and serve as compost for your soil. So apart from that, it's adding more nitrogen, adding more nutrients to your soil. Apart from the fact that it's protecting your plants from soil-borne pathogens, you're also adding nutrients to the soil. Then this one too is coming up.
From here, I would like to put that. Do you have any questions you can ask?
But then for 7 days, we tell you 7 days in there. But about for 3 days. If it's 7 days in there, that can be 3 days. After 18 days. After 18 days, I come to my bed. We are only 18 days. I don't come to my life. So when you say that, then so come to the building that. We talk about building. It's a what the time is why function. We had in Sunu Busso. Now, we have 7 days of the time. Function should be. You guys are your bar. What time for 2 days? We are 7 days after 7 days. What time for 2 days? We are function 18 days. And as your other swag, the young were a young sea and when you're back here, you are. You just like, and never gave you the baby are right. You let me talk. We have a great mission of it. You should have liked it. You have to do this. And I said, I have license now, yeah. And you're good to a dance. I wrote him who said, stop that. Or so, boy. I just artificial. Now, I just tell me, yeah, that let's win. And when you're going to take it, and then to me, say, direct win to do. That's it.
Bed, no. For how long now be you and I'll be you should tell say compost no bed
Well, I said it said maybe I'm not very sure I can say 18 days. You can do 18 days now. Last one out, 18 days now. What part they are?
because I think that the compost you are
Any one last days I was and the old over 10 yes. You guys at the police now, over 10 and